Ladies and gentlemen, it's TJ Shoemaker here. Welcome back to another episode of the Are You Relevant Talk Show. Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail. This episode is going to be juicy. It's going to be big. There's so much to unpack, so much to talk about. Let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, recently, um, a huge announcement was made by the IWA. Of course, IWA, I mentioned them in the previous episode, but IWA, a very popular, known, relevant alliance in the World Wrestling community, made a tweet stating, and I'll put it on screen for you guys, and I'll read it. Ked Darrien has been stripped from the IWA Championship and suspended indefinitely. The second part reads as well. And we're gonna talk about Chris League later on in the video, but just keep this in the back of your head, okay? It says Chris League has been suspended from the IWA indefinitely. So I want you to keep both of those things in mind. Now, back to Ked Darrien. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who Ked Darrien is, he is a prominent superstar in the World Wrestling community. He is the pinnacle of World Wrestling. He has so many accolades and accomplishments across different feds within the World Wrestling community, from XWE, from XRW, from OPRW, from CGW, from RRW. The list goes on and on. He has accomplished so much, been in so many matches. He's widely known for all the incredible and the amazing things that he has done in this community. However, there is one thing that is ruining his reputation slowly, which is this tweet that comes from the IWA. Ladies and gentlemen, Ked Darrien himself calls himself the man that became a Messiah and the Messiah that became a God. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know any God that cheats. I don't know any God that tells themselves that they are a God and then have to cheat or macro to win their matches. However, however, let me be very clear about this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have a problem with Ked macro. And for those of you who don't know what macroing is, I'm going to read you the Google definition of what macroing is so you guys will think I'm making this up. I'm going to put it on screen for you guys. It says macroing is the use of third party software or scripts to automate repetitive, time consuming tasks in video games, such as grinding, fishing, or crafting. It says while the player is away from the keyboard, also known as AFK. This basically means that you got a third party software and it's basically doing the task for you. That's it. People do it all the time. I have a friend that does it in games that we play, time consuming games, games that we grind, games that just take up so much time, and it's just so much easier to just turn on a macro and call it a day. So I don't have a problem with Kid macroing. I do have a problem with him macroing, and it becomes a disadvantage to the players that he's fighting, and it becomes an advantage to him, and it personally benefits him. I do have a problem with that. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to also read um, the response that Ked had. Well, one of the responses that Ked had 1 hour after this tweet was posted from the IWA. This comes from Ked's DMs. I got this screenshot from a very good friend of mine, and I'm going to put it on screen for you guys. And it reads, only thing they found me, or only thing they found was me macroing. Of course, we just read you the definition. I just read you the definition. Then it says, and I got stripped because of me account hopping. Now, the reason why I said we're gonna come back to Chris League was because of this. The person that he account hopped for was Chris League. You see where I'm going with this? And if you don't know what account hopping is, that's essentially saying, like, let's say you're at Roll Wrestling, which if you're watching this video, you might be. I don't know. But let's just say you're bad at Roll Wrestling, right? And you got an upcoming match. Let's say you're about to go main event OPRW, which probably won't happen because most of you are just horrible. But let's just say you're about to main event OPRW, right? And you're going to face, who's like a go to Roll Wrestling? Let's just say you're going to face, um, I don't know. Let's say you're going against, I was going to say, I'm not going to say it. Let's say you're going against someone really good, someone you know that's going to beat you. You have no chance of winning against. Okay. Let's say also say that you have a friend that is by far better than you, that is by far more skilled, more trained, has better ring IQ, whatever. And you know that he's free this day or he's available for whatever. Okay. Let's also say that your friend has no problem with account hopping. And so you ask him to account hop and basically fight the match for you without anyone else knowing. So you give him your info whenever he logs into your account, and boom, he fights a match for you. He wins, or he does overall better than you would do, and it's unexpected to everyone. That's essentially what account hopping is. You allow someone on your account, they fight the match for you, no one else knows about it, you win the title, you win the match, whatever. And so that's exactly what Ked did for Chris League. Now, the problem with this is, the problem with account hopping is it takes away the actual dignity of the person that's having someone else fight their match for them. Because who we thought was fighting, who we thought was good, who we thought was skilled, is not. And they're showing you a false image, a false reality of who they truly are. And that's a problem that we have in the pro wrestling community. People always try to aim for to be the best, to be the top dog. And when they get in this position and when they reach this level of skill-based matchmaking, not saying that Chris League is bad or anything. Of course, Chris League is another prominent superstar in the pro wrestling community that's done a ton of different things. However, um, for someone to do this, it just takes away the credibility and the authenticity. I said that so wrong. You know what I'm trying to say though. That it just takes away the credibility, the dignity, and the authenticness. I don't know if that's a word, but we're gonna say it's a word from that person. I also want to bring up a screenshot from Divine Damian, of course, Divine Damian, former owner of LVPW. I don't know if that is still relevant or still a thing anymore, but Divine Damian, another uprising star in his own right. But this is a screenshot. I don't know what date it was taken from or at, but I'll put this on screen for you guys as well. And it reads, last year in the IWAC N1C that I was in, by I mean Damian was in, and IWAC N1C basically means the IWA Championship number one contendership. It says Chris won, but it was Ked on his account. It says today, Ked got on his account and Macro to beat Sama and Avery for APWA, WAC, N1C. So IWA should Ked for account hopping the second time for Chris. Now, so this means that this is not the first time that this happened. That is has happened in the past. It is also not the first time in the community that has happened because like both account hopping and macroing are very common things now. Like I said, it's becoming too normalized and it's got to stop. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see here, there are a lot of things that we can assess, a lot of things that we can see that is happening in our community. People that you never thought would macro, people that you never thought would cheat, people that you never thought would account hop are the exact people doing it. And so just ask yourselves, what is this community turning to? It is turning into a cesspool of cheaters and account hoppers and macroers and road divas, transgender weirdos, and so many different things. It has got to stop. And I want your thoughts on this. What do you think about it? Do you agree with Ked? Do you think he's right? Do you blame Ked? Do you blame Chris? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you guys did enjoy this video. And I'll see you boys on the next one. But peace out.